Hello, this is the second video of a series in which I will review my point of view demos as Heavy from Season 16. I will talk over the decisions I make and why to help you get a better understanding of how to play Highlander Heavy. Please note that I play an aggressive style of Heavy, and so my personal playstyle might not be best for you and your team. This specific match is actually a scrim on Gully Watch from the second week of UGC. I picked this scrim because our match was a roll. This scrim is versus Candy. So coming in mid, I'm running GRUs so I can get there faster. Usually you want to put them away at that shutter there, so you don't take mini crits in mid. And then since our demo rollout choke, I'm just trying to run up left, get there as soon as possible, and throw out a sandwich. And once you get to mid, usually want to just try to push forward, and that's what I'm doing. I get the call about the spy, so I turn around. Since I knew our med went down there, I was just going all out, trying to do as much damage as I possibly could before I died. Usually that's how Gully mids go, especially as Heavy. Unless your team wins, you're probably going to die. But oftentimes just coming across the point like that and just trying to get close and do as much damage as you can is usually going to help your team the most. Oftentimes you want to try to sort of juke behind the nipple on point and just do damage and engage people on one side. Here we managed to link up with Zan. We know we have disadvantage, so we don't really want to push him here, and so we're just backing out onto second. Here we should rotate up top, as they're likely going to push, and that's what we're doing. Probably should have backed up into lobby, as our med's going to die here. After that, I just try to play on point and slow them down and get as any kills I can on second, because I knew we were going to lose the fight and I knew there was no chance of me getting out. So I just wanted to set up in a spot where I could do damage and slow them down so we'd have a chance to respawn for last. I think I did a decent job of that. Did damage, slowed them down a bit, but we're just going to be setting up on last. We know they have advantage, so usually in this situation I like to either go under point or play close on the shutter. Benefits of going under point, usually I only do that when they have Uber and we know they're pushing in the next few seconds, and it's just sort of a last ditch hope, like maybe I can shut down the people who come lower and just sort of contest point as well. But oftentimes playing by that shutter can be good, because if people try to push your soldier on the launch pad, you can shoot them in the side and get free kills. I saw that they were pushing, and so I just tried to run off, eat a sandwich, so I can avoid taking damage and be ready. Here we get a bunch of kills, so I'm just going to try to push forward as fast as I can and make space. Heavy goes down. This is a really good spot I like to use when pushing out especially. You can just sort of sit here, avoid taking damage, and do damage yourself, and really do a good job of locking out their spawns who are coming big door. Here their spy tries the back cap, but we get the cap. Here, since we have Uber advantage, we're going to try to just flood through choke without having to use. Sort of help this, I go drop down to try to pressure them from a second angle and just try to catch out any other players who are trying to run away from big door, but it doesn't work out. They were back at their choke, and our combo is very slow actually committing through choke with their Uber, and so they had time to deal with me. Usually going drop down can be very strong. It's Heavy, because you have so much health, you're going to be fighting like low health flank classes. They're backing out, so you can usually get free kills there. This situation, I think it mostly came down to our combo being slow with their Uber push. Here, since we lose players, I'm just trying to back up. I know we won't be able to contest second, so I'm just getting back to last. Here, I'm not sure exactly why we're pushing. Maybe they're hurt or out of position. And since I see they're rushing through main, I just try to go clear the lobby above them so they can't get flanked. And I know my combo's backing out, so I just pre-throw a sandwich down there. We get 3 picks, we're going to try to work forward. And so I again just try to push out across. Here I probably should have focused the pyro down first before switching to the NG. But I managed to kill the NG and the pyro is very low health. But he gets out alive. That situation, it probably would have been better to rotate up with our combo and push river, the med and demo, or just through upper lobby so they weren't on the absolute low ground. That would also set them up to be less likely to be flanked and killed. Here the spy just abuses the fact that you can be invisible and still capping as you decloak, and so I just am forced to stand on the point. Right there, as you saw, I just went straight under behind point as a spawner. I did that because we were down players and I expected them to be pushing right away. Again, if you have huge player disadvantage or huge uber disadvantage, just going under point immediately can be quite strong. Or if you have time, just running up and getting a buff because you're going to have crit heals. Here, since I'm down here and we know they have Hooper, I'm just going to play down here, watch for the spy, and just try to shut down whatever they send lower. And then I can also do a good job of contesting the point. Here, I managed to kill the spy. I know they're critzing. Since they didn't commit and run in, I'll just back off into my normal holding position. At first I was going to try to stuff the crits if they were committing with their demo, but instead I just rotated back. I'm just keeping an eye out. Here, I'm making sure I'm always revved, so when a heavy walks up like that, I'll be ready to fight him. And then my flank is able to chase him down and finish off the kill. Since they're 3 down, we're starting to push out again. As you see there, we sort of went through different pathways to make sure we didn't get backcapped. We see that their scout's running last, but he just tries to flank us and gets cleaned up easily. We kept getting kills here, despite losing our med, and so we're still trying to pressure them and get in if possible. But we also lose Banny and our soldier. It's going to be very hard for us to actually get this. Right here, I know their demo's hurt by rock, and so I'm just trying to push up as far as I can and try to lock them out of choke. One of the key things in this situation is to just get forward by choke and lock them out from repushing, because as heavy you can really shut down a choke if some class tries to rush through it. That's really important to do on second and mid, is just pushing up to choke and not letting them get back in and contest. Here they crit a scout, but that gets shut down by the level 3. And since we know that their med's dead, we're probably going to try to buff up and push out again. We're going to try to work it fairly slowly so we can use our heal advantage, but seems like our med and demo are hesitating a little bit. Here we're starting to get forward. I'm going to go down to big door and try to lock out their med spawn or flank anyone who's contesting close shutter. Since there's nobody here, I'm going to rotate back and away, and considering that we lost 2 players and their combo respawned, we're just going back to last. Again, I'm a really big fan of holding close to the shutter and just trying to work with my soldier. He'll bait and spam, and then I can shoot people on the side as they push him. Not only can he harass by himself, but I can sort of protect him in case they rush. Here I believe they don't really have anyone in the lobby because we have an advantage, so they're just playing passive. And so we're just trying to feel them out, pressure them a bit, see if we can get any picks. Again, I'm just in my default spot. Right here you can do a pretty good job of watching for the spy as well. The only real weakness is decloaking on point. This game was before they updated the Tommy Saw, but regardless, I think if you're going to be playing under point in those close quarters or close shutter, I'd recommend using the stock minigun for the close range damage and just the ability to track players more easily. Here we managed to get kills on them in lobby, and so we're just going to try to go out as fast as we can. Again, I know they're snipers by choke, so I'm just running up. It doesn't really matter that I'm taking mini crits, I just try to get there as fast as I can to lock them out. I just try to stay here, and just make sure he can't get in. The scout runs in through big door, or it might have been through river, not totally sure. We get the cap, we have Uber advantage. I'm probably going to go drop down again because it's trapped out and I just want to try to get through and alleviate pressure for my combo to push. But instead I just run through the choke, assuming I'll get flashed here. I just use my large health pool to get through without dying. And again, I'm just trying to push forward with my combo so they can't re-push through choke, and so I'm with my combo to protect him in the post-Uber fight. I took that Uber primarily because we had advantage, so it wouldn't really hurt an Uber exchange. That's something you want to try to think about as heavy, is making sure, as a general rule of thumb, you only want to go into an Uber when you have advantage. When it's even, it can cause your medic to have to split Ubers, and then the other team could get an advantage. And if your med doesn't flash you, then you'll just end up taking a ton of damage and or dying. Here we're playing passive because we know they have advantage, but we don't fully leave because we're about to get Uber and we're just planning on re-pushing immediately. We do manage to stuff their Uber, and so this pop's kind of unnecessary. Med popped, he has 150 health. We definitely could have saved that Uber to crush them into last because we're just plowing through them, taking second here. They just got spawners. They were only 2 up, so we know we can take lobby, but I'm just going here to make sure we get the cap. I'm just trying to be slow and methodical as I walk through lobby, not let a spy or a flanking class fly in and get a pick. Because it's even, we know we're just going to be holding lobby for a little while, looking for picks, so I just want to make sure I don't let any classes sort of flood in and kill me or my medic. Here I'm just checking for common trap spots and spots where spies tend to hang out. And I'm not really committing super far with my combo. And we're just sort of pressuring Shutter to distract, and at the same time our flank had gotten into river and came up onto point and just capped for free. I think that was just a combination of them not being fully aware of what was getting behind them and our combo distracting. Here again I roll out big door, coming up left. I just try to get in and row up to shoot as soon as possible. But we're losing players, and so we just back out since we had no positioning and our demo is already dead. Their soldier did a good job of pressuring our demo immediately here. Because I knew we were so low on players, and the only way I could protect my med from their definite push that was about to come was just staying close to choke and just making sure I was there to slow them down. I would have been fine if I died there because I managed to slow them down enough that they weren't able to kill our med, and so we'll have Uber for a last defense. I do stuff like that a lot on Viaduct, Gully Wash, and other maps. I just fully commit to make sure I slow them down to allow my teammates to escape, because the demo and medic are definitely more important. Here, since we have even Ubers, I'm again playing close to make sure they have to force early, or at least force as they come in, as well as just try to get picks with my soldier. In this spot I can turn around and check a lot of decloak spots as well, so I can protect my med fairly well from spies. Here I'm just sort of holding again. In this spot, if the other team's not aware, you can usually get a decent amount of picks, at least at the start of the game until they realize what you're doing. And it'll also just help protect your soldier and open him up to getting more kills. Another benefit of this spot is that it'll stop their sniper from peeking the launch pad and from peeking Shutter, and that allows your demo to focus the spam on river so your combo doesn't get sniped. Here Banny almost caps, and so we just decide to flood out as they're gonna have to go back to stop the back cap. And even if they send someone behind, we know we'll be able to at least get the cap to stop them from back capping. This is sort of a similar situation. I'm just trying to be close to choke, not let them push in and contest. We lose players, so we know we're going to have to back up. I expected them to be pushing faster here, so I didn't even try to leave, and that combined with them having players above us, I just didn't want to be caught with my pants down, running away, not being spun up, so I just stayed close and stayed revved and ready to fight. But here, they lost some players. We're all low health, our med spawns, and so I'm just trying to run away and get health. Here we should know that we have a big disadvantage, so I'm assuming we'll rotate up top to hold. If not, then we're making a big mistake. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly. Oh, I guess they Uber in through big door, and so we're sort of caught out. And instead of just trying to fight them or just sort of sit idly, we push forward near choke, so we can have a sort of a strong group of players set up near their choke, so we can stop them from capping, and we can just kite away from their Uber. That allows us to stay alive, and then sort of do a pretty good job of cleaning up in the post-Uber fight, and then we slowly manage to grind out and win the fight slightly and hold on to second. A lot of teams will just sort of try to run away past the Uber, but if you just kite forward, Gullywash is a pretty good map for this. Upward Last, you can do this as well by just kiting forward into the stairs and avoiding their Uber. Here, we're not able to get through. Our sniper and demo died, which are both really key to pushing, especially through big door. And so we just rotate to choke to hold it. I know as heavy I'll be able to lock down any push they try to push through, because just the high DPS at point blank. And so I'm just telling my pyro and my med to stay close and just be ready to shut down anything they try to rush through. We slow them down and buy enough time to get Uber at least. And then here we're air blasting. Our med should be leaving here because we're losing a ton of players. I'm not sure why we're still in. They're likely all gonna die. We managed to bust through onto mid and start getting cap time, and somehow we managed to get a bunch of kills there. So I think we sort of lucked out there. Then again, I didn't really see the positioning because I was just dead on my camera. But here, I'm just trying to get into mid as fast as I can. We know they're down a ton, and not many of them got forwards. And who they do have alive is by choke, and so I'm just calling to flood through big door and cut off their spawners and the people who are trying to leave. And then Banny and I clean up 3 or 4 players. That aggression, similar to that, pushing into second, is very strong for sort of just rolling out rounds. It can be very good on mid if the other team backs out choke, and you have like a commanding numbers advantage. Here we have advantage. We're just going to be very safe and defensive in lobby until we get the super, and we're probably going to try pushing through river. Usually I like to try to run underneath point for an Uber, and then have the demo and the scout just Uber forward. Here our demo gets juggled, and so the Uber's sort of doomed from the start. And there I just pre-fire on the corner, try to do what damage I can to the heavy, and then I get shanked to death. They did a good job of juggling us so we couldn't actually get in on that Uber. And here, as they're spawning, we just want to get up to the high ground as soon as possible. We managed to force them on second, so we know we're going to be able to hold choke. And so that's why we came up on this side rather than backing out. Here our demo's getting a little too far forward, dies, and I try to come forward and help him, but their whole team sort of pushes through and kills me. And then our med gets stabbed at the same time. But our flank managed to get a few kills, and so we're holding on for now. They have huge advantage, so we're just going to be playing passive on mid. I'm just trying to force them as they come in and just not lose players when they Uber into us. We're probably a little too close there. Our flank's a little bit over aggressive. They're contesting big door. Sort of opens them up to being killed. We managed to force them on second somehow, maybe, and stuff them big door, and so we just flood in through choke, as we knew they were all blobbed up big door. Here we're getting the cap, and there's no one between us and last, essentially. Well, a few players, and so I just try to rush forward, because I know they're going to be falling back and trying to recap, and so pretty much the only hope for winning that round was for me and the other players to just sort of flood in and rush to last and try to get the cap as soon as possible. But we don't get the players there in time. Our red manages to live, and we managed to kill a decent amount of them, and so we're going to be able to hold second, most likely. And so we just come in through big door and start working our way into the lobby. Since the sniper is so close, I decided to push him instead of backing up. A big thing to note as heavy is if the sniper is charged or not, and so I just pushed him quickly since I saw he wasn't charged. This is a spot that I like to play in. It allows you to watch river and shutter. Oftentimes what I like to try to do is just to push in through lower through the shutter, then flood behind the team and go to last, but instead our med just stays up top, doesn't pop uber on me, and ends up dropping all but 3 of our players, and so they have to just uber on second and hope to escape. But it looks like they're going to escape. Yeah, our med didn't take damage. Somehow we managed to turn this fight around with our spawners and kill a lot of their players, and so we're commandingly taking second. Med's very, very low. Managed to live, thankfully. Since they're only 3 up, I'm just trying to rush in as fast as I can and take ground before they're able to get players out and contest. Here I'm just making sure I'm focusing the NG down first. The spot I was in there on the stairs allowed me to hide most of my hitbox as I was fighting them. Sadly, we didn't have enough people come in right away for that push to work out. Here we know that they have advantage, so we're not going to be able to go up and hold choke. Since they're leaving big door open, I was trying to pressure it a little bit, maybe open it up for a back cap, but instead, I'm just backing up. Spy just gets unlucky with the side he ran up to. Here they're trying to push big door, and so we're just going to back up by our choke. Here I have no chance of really escaping. I probably should have just revved up and tried to body block there, but Corsa just focused me down instead of running past and killing the med. I guess I sort of left my med open, just being killed there. But managed to survive. Corsa didn't fully commit to chasing. Since we have Uber, we're going to try to get position on second and be ready to push into them. Here, I'm not sure why, but they're peeking players in some. So we just pop through with the demo and scout, and I decided to go drop down. So Uber leads them in, pushes them away from the point, and so I'll be able to come in and clean up the players who are dropping off point. Usually people are going to be dropping off when they're hurt, and they'll also not be expecting you to be there. Here I just try to push up, do what damage I can during their Uber. I almost killed their medic, unfortunately tucks away into a corner. But we managed to get a decent amount of kills during that Uber exchange and sort of slow them down. Here Banny just goes crazy and kills a ton of people. Since we have so many picks, we're probably going to be trying to push almost right away. Not sure why we hesitated so long here. Probably should have tried to run in much sooner. A big thing about Gully Wash and Highlander 5 CP in general is when you have an opening that's really significant, you definitely want to take it, because oftentimes it'll just devolve into a stalemate and you'll be stuck. Here, since their sniper gets killed, we're going to try to flood through choke and just sort of slowly creep in with our sniper. Here our med gets a little ahead of himself and peeks in front of where he needed to be, and so he gets opened up to the soldier pick, but regardless, we managed to kill a lot of them. So we're flooding in, taking a second, and getting positioned in lobby. When you get set up in lobby, even if you've lost a few players, it's very hard for them to push you out effectively because of the risk of backcapping. Here, players were pressuring in through a lot of directions, and I was just spamming the med. Managed to get the force, which is very important. And since they had Ubered, I knew they'd be pushing me, and so I just try to tuck into lobby and hide and try to catch someone as they're running out. But to no avail. Here are combos big door from their spawns trying to contest, and since the Ubers are not super uneven, we're going to try to hold choke. Again, as a team, we don't really have the best calls on percentage. Meadowy doesn't tend to track the other team's Uber. That's something we struggled with. Here I'm not sure why he went down to big door. I should either be like holding back by our side or holding by our own big door. This was great. I remember seeing the ammo pack disappear out of the corner of my eye, and I was like, oh, there's a spy. That was probably one of the best spy finds that I've had in my career, to be honest, just seeing the ammo pack disappear from the corner of my eye. It's quite funny. Here, Ubers are even, so it's just going to be a stalemate. I'm trying to be close enough to support my combo. Zan and Spire managed to take out their demo, but our flank's starting to lose players. They also pop late, and so they're able to have a better Uber than us, but they don't try to push off that because of the kills we got. We evened it up. We're both down a few. We managed to kill their snipers, so that's definitely a go-ahead for us to push. Their heavy and med are both committed on the rock for some reason, so we're probably going to just have our sniper peek in. There, instead of revving up instantly on the spy, I tried to run in between him and the medic, because he would have just died from one shank. And then we just used their combo's bad positioning to just slowly grind them out and get the guaranteed kill on them. And we just slowly work our way into lobby. We have a pretty much full Uber advantage. There's still 2 down, so we're just going to try to get together a solid collected push and not rush into it. Something we should definitely focus on is getting solid coordinated pushes with the opportunities you have. Instead, Meadowy drops to a spy, but since we're all still committed, we're just going to go for it and see what we can get out of it. Hopefully try to get kills on their med and whatnot. Here, Spyro and I do a good job of distracting them and getting kills. Their demo's very, very low. Fortunately, didn't get cleaned up, but we managed to kill enough of them that they won't really be able to push. In addition, we killed their meds, so it'll be even again. Or rather, we'll have a slight advantage, but not much to speak of. Because we're all spawning close and relatively soon, we'll probably be able to contest second. A few of our players went too far out and got picked off, and so we won't be able to. And their combo right there does a good job of locking us out from even contesting. Here, I'm assuming they're on crits as well, unless theirs is just completely outbuilding Meadowy. Because our med went crits here to try to get a crits advantage over them. And since we're on crits, we try to rotate big door. It's less of a choke, more likely to be able to get a solid crits off. We managed to get 2 kills on their flank. And I believe here they try to wrap us, or perhaps not. They were on Uber. Wow, that's embarrassing. Their med was outbuilding our crits with Uber. Here we managed to come in from the side, I don't know how, we just caught them unaware, they didn't really adjust their positioning, and then to seal it, their med dropped. Here, the sniper behind at 60 health is not really going to do anything, so I just ignore him and run past, and just try to focus on getting kills near the point, where they actually matter. Here, instead of like rushing straight to the point, I just run up and get set up to fight people as they come, because I know I already have people capping, and so me just running straight into the point and taking the same damage as them won't really help, and then time runs out. So again, this is just scrim, so people weren't playing exactly how they would in a match, but it's a pretty good indication of what could work and what probably won't work. Hopefully this helps you guys. Goodbye.